Hello, my name is Hannah Stone, and today I'm applying to Fiveable for the position of teacher's assistant in both AP Statistics and AP US History. Why I think I would like to work at Fiveable is that it's a diverse work environment that provides flexibility, making my job as not only a teacher or at least a helper to a teacher, but an someone who's also pursuing my own education easier because I have the flexibility to maintain both of those aspects of my life. Not to mention a passion for teaching and learning and tutoring, just that I've always had in me. Why I love AP statistics? Well, from a young age, I always have clicked with math. It's just always been something that I've easily understood. And through the years, as the concepts got more complex, I was always in awe of how they intersected and how you could use certain concepts in daily life and how much that would actually help your daily life learning those concepts and actually thinking about how to apply them. And I think the most obvious math subject that does this is statistics, where it's very clearly laid out to you how this could be useful for everyday life, from budgeting to figuring out that or something else. It's just always something that could be used for your life. And I've always had a passion for things that I could apply outside of school. And I think that's one of those skills that you learn in AP statistics. As for US history, I didn't appreciate history as much as I could have for a very long time. And I think that was a personal issue because I think the most important thing you can learn from history is your own mistakes and using it to contextualize issues from today and learning from them and growing from them both as a person and as a society. So for US history, it's one of those that really stretches that muscle in your mind to be able to look at an issue and look at this thing that happened back in the 1940s or the 1950s or the 1800s and say, this is very similar to when this happened and the US did this. So, what were the effects of that, and how can we change it to be better this time? And the constant development of we can be better and we do get better throughout history, I think is something that everyone who takes US history can appreciate. And that's personally what I loved about it. The fact that US history, at least the AP course, never shied away from the mistakes that the United States has made over the years and looked at those mistakes with a critical eye and said, why did this happen? And that why did this happen can be so easily avoided if we just looked at these aspects earlier. As for how would help a struggling student, I first would ask the question, is it the concept or is it the method? Because some kids just have certain concepts that don't click with their usual way of teaching, like they'll be fine, and then some concept just doesn't click with their head. I've had it happen to me personally, but if it is an issue with the concept itself and not the method it was taught in, then I would try to reiterate it, but with more examples and more illustrations to kind of articulate the general theme of the concept instead of just a specific problem. I don't think specific problem solving does actually teach the concept. So I would try to use more general terms and analogies to kind of visualize the problem in their head. If it was more a teaching method, so for me personally, I don't take audio cues very well. If it's just like a podcast or something, it kind of goes in one ear out the other. So if it was a method thing, I would try switching it up to something like, if it was a visual thing, then I would try to do tactile, or if it was a tactile thing, I would try to use more illustrations and visual cues. and just like switching those methods up to see what works for the specific student for that specific concept. And I think that's really the balance between what method works for what concept is what generally stumbles most students and struggles and makes them struggle in a public school setting where there's not a lot of flexibility for that. So being in an online course, there's a lot more flexibility for that. And I would really like to look at the different ways we could teach that to help the student. I really do appreciate your time. I hope you look at me for teacher's assistant. I really would love the job. I am always appreciative of being able to help others, and I think this is a great way to do it. So I thank you for looking at my application, and goodbye.